Hello, and welcome back to
Totally booked right
Totally
now.
Booked Right Now. Okay, this is part 2 of None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. Was that right?
Yes, it
Okay,
is. Yes.
Jesus. You'd think I'd be prepared for that, but I wasn't. Anyway, okay, we ended right before um a dinner party. So it's now Friday, July 12th, and it's 6:30, and Nathan isn't home yet for dinner, which starts at 7:30. He tells Alix he's going to get a drink with his friend. I think they were talking on the phone. And so we all know
Mhm.
how that's gonna go. Josie and
Mhm.
Walter arrive right on time, and Alix is making excuses for Nathan. Poor Alix. It is awkward as fuck.
She knows he's not coming back. He's not going to make it. Or she's hopeful,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're not
And
thinking
Josie is
that's
like
most likely going to happen.
really judging. So Alix tries to make small talk with Walter, but things are really tense between him and Josie. And Walter mentions that Aaron's a hardcore gamer, and Alix is like, well, that's weird. Why has Josie never mentioned that to me? And then Alix mentions the podcast, which Walter also doesn't know about. So now Alix is trying to backtrack and like go along with keeping that hidden. So Alix keeps trying to get a hold of Nathan as this is all going on, being like, get the fuck back here, help me. But he's a piece of shit. So he's getting really drunk. Josie's
And it's like
super pissed at
distracting
Nathan.
Alix, preventing her from.
Yeah, it's just
It's
making
really
everything
distracting for
worse.
Alix. She's not right. Exactly. Yes.
So Josie's pissed at Nathan. She says something, well, kind of over the line things about him. She's just talking shit. And Alix is really getting more into the camp of wanting Josie out of her life at this point. She's kind of over it. But Alix takes Walter out to show him her studio. And Josie's like, I've already been out there. I don't need to go. So she has Walter alone. She's probing a little bit about how he and Josie met. And he says he was friends with Pat first, Josie's mom, and that Josie was really mature for her age. So gross.
No.
Walter also
so
tells
gross.
Alix that his ex-wife was 10 years younger than him, and he met her in his late 20s. So we have now established a pattern of behavior.
He likes them young, preferably in their
God,
teens. Definitely.
So gross. And then Walter then warns Alix to be careful with Josie and that she's not what she seems and that she has an elastic relationship with the truth.
Love
And
that.
she doesn't like the reality. Right. And you're like, okay, pedophile, whatever you say. And if Josie doesn't like the reality of things, she finds the reality she prefers. He also says she likes to control things and you don't even realize you're being controlled until it's too late. And Alix is like, wow, okay, great story, Predator. So they finally go back inside. They eat dinner. Yeah, exactly. And Josie keeps talking shit about Nathan and Alix is getting tired of it. Finally, dinner's over and Josie gives Alix like a weird hug at the end of dinner and whispers in her ear, men, fucking men. Which I'm like, okay, valid. But also this is just kind of overstepping the line. And after they leave, Alix's son, in classic like horror movie fashion, asks Alix why that weird woman was standing outside of the studio while she was in there with Walter. He's like, she looked really mad. That was a scary moment. So Josie and Walter get home. Josie is pissed. Keep going.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, how many things have to happen with Josie for Alix to finally be like, I don't like just what is like keeping. I mean, I think that at this point, it's just has to be curiosity because all of these things keep popping up and she keeps like internally saying, like, Josie's really weird. She's kind of freaking me out. Like, as more of her story comes out, I'm more weirded out by her entire life. Like, why I just at this point in the book, it was one of those why do you still even care about what's going on with her? You need to just leave as quickly as possible. Yeah.
She's doing it for the pod.
Yep.
All for the pod.
All for the pod.
So Josie and Walter get home. Josie's pissed. She's also annoyed that Alix like served them pasta and not something more sophisticated. She's mad at Nathan for ruining the night. And she picks a fight with Walter about how he was an embarrassment. He embarrassed her. And Walter's like, what are you talking about? That whole dinner was so weird. And it's pretty clear that Alix doesn't even like you. So things keep escalating until Josie is like, this is the moment I've been waiting for. It fades to black. I think this is actually part 2 of the book now. So now it's Saturday, July 13th. Alix is woken up in the middle of the night. She opens the door expecting Nathan, but it's Josie and she's all beat up. There's blood on her face. She has scratches all over, split lip, a gash on the back of her head. So Alix bites her in and Josie tells her that Walter attacked her. She also says this isn't the first time something like this has happened, but this is the first time basically that Josie's like left after it's happened. So Alix obviously asks what happened. Josie tells her Walter was really upset about Nathan not being there, and he kept drinking when they got home, and things escalated, which we already kind of know is like not true.
Well, and I think that was Josie trying to get some additional sympathy from Alix, trying to say, look, your husband, you told me that he's a big, heavy drinker. And now I'm coming to you with the same problem. My husband, he does the same thing. I think it was an extra way for her to try to like connect or like make Alix see that like, see, my husband is a jerk and he drinks. So clearly your husband is the same way.
Yeah. Connect is a nice word. I was going to say weasel her way.
Well, for Josie, it was a connection. For the reader, it was a weasel. It was a weasel.
Yeah. So then Josie says she got so mad she, quote, went for him, but then denies attacking him when Alix tries to clarify. So Alix is like, wait, so you attacked him? She's like, no. Walter overpowered Josie and started hitting her. She's like, he stopped me before I could get him, and he overpowered me. Then Josie says that Aaron came out of her room and tried to stop him, but then Walter hit Aaron too. And Josie, when I was like, Aaron, the girl that's never come out of her room, she just came out?
Mm-hmm. You haven't seen her? I mean, in your own, when we've talked to her, she hasn't seen her, and she's terrified to even open the door, but your daughter came out for some noises? I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, right. Okay. Then Josie assures Alix that Aaron's fine, though, and that she's at a friend's house. Again, I was like, this just doesn't seem like something an agoraphobic person would do.
Mm-hmm.
And Alix tries to get Josie to call the police or Josie's mom, but Josie refuses to do either of those things. She says she's not going back home, and she asks Alix if she can stay with her because she has no one else. And Alix is like, shit. Fine, and helps Josie get settled in her guest room. And this was like this was the point where I was like, Alix, Josie's gonna cut your skin off and wear it. You're fucked.
No more denim curtains. It's human curtains from here on out, for sure.
Yeah, like Alix is screwed. So the next morning, Nathan's texting Alix, apologizing. She's like, listen, I don't fucking care about that anymore. Get home now. Like, we have a problem and I need your help. Alix peeks in to check on Josie, who's still asleep, and Fred, Josie's dog, has had an accident in the room. So Alix cleans it up, which I'm like, what? And brings Josie breakfast. I mean, I guess Josie's a victim, but she brings Josie breakfast. And Alix's son is like, what's that weird lady doing here? She looks scary. She's all messed up. She's like, she's just here for a minute. And Alix takes Fred for a walk. And she's like, I always thought Josie was weird because of her mom and Walter, but maybe she was always weird. Like, maybe, she's just weird. And then she remembers that she left her young son alone with that psychopath and books it back home. The second she started taking that dog for a walk, I was like, what? What are you doing?
I know. It was like, so this woman that you don't really trust, you've seen doing some really weird things that you know a lot of things about, that she is very strange. You left her in the house with your kid. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What is
like never. So anyway, she gets home. The boy's fine. So that, phew, everything's cool. But so then Nathan gets back home. Well, he gets home though before Alix, and he and Josie have this weird little interaction. He thinks for a second that it has like a cognitive dissonance because Josie is wearing clothes that Alix gave her or whatever. But another weird thing is Josie changes into those clothes without even showering. That's bizarre to me.
Yeah.
That was so weird. I was like, you're covered in blood.
Yeah. Why?
Like, what?
Yeah.
And then Josie goes back downstairs and calls Nathan out for being a lush and not coming home last night. She tells him she got beat up because her husband was mad he didn't show up for dinner. She's like, yeah, it's too bad you didn't show up. That's why that happened to me.
Do you see this?
He's like,
it's your fault.
My God, I'm so sorry. And then she tells him that he should be a better husband. So I was like, this was pretty funny.
It was the whole thing. I actually, I highlighted some very specific things that she said. And then I ended up, it was the whole page was a highlight. And so I just annotated. I was like, oh, complete character assassination of Nathan. He needed to hear all those things, honestly, because she was telling him, you're not a good husband. What are you doing staying out drinking? It's, the middle of the morning, the day after you were supposed to be home with your wife to host a dinner party and you didn't even show up. She really didn't hold back with how she felt about him to his face. Yeah.
I mean, none of it was a lie, but it was still pretty crazy to hear from almost a stranger. So Alix gets back
She's
at this point.
like never talked to him.
Yeah, like they've never had interacted. So Alix gets back. Josie goes back upstairs, and she tries to kind of listen in on what Alix and Nathan are obviously saying about her, but she can't hear anything. And then Josie takes a key out of her purse and hides it under the mattress. And she has a flashback to some disturbing images that have to do with the altercation last night. Or I guess we assume it's the altercation last night, but she has a key. Anyway, now it's the next day. Alix and Josie are talking. She claims Erin's fine. Alix keeps asking about her, and she's like, I haven't talked to Walter. I'm not gonna. And Alix tries to convince her to reach out to her mom again, but that's just a no-go. Alix asks Josie if she wants her to talk to Walter for her, and Josie's like, no, absolutely not. I just need to be here for a while. Is that okay? And Alix is soft, and she's like, okay, but my sister's coming on Saturday, and I'll need the guest room back by then. And so Josie's like, okay, great. I'll definitely be out by Saturday. And so she's like, fuck. And then Josie pulls a bait and switch. She's like, I'm ready to talk about the girls. So let's record some more podcast episodes. Now we cut to another Netflix documentary interviewing Mandy Redwood, that school administrator that Alix talked to in the beginning of the book. And Mandy's talking about how Alix asked about Josie's kids one day and the contrast between Alix's family and Josie's family. Mandy's also remembered other things about Roxy's transgressions at school, like how she broke a child's finger. She just stomped on their finger and ground it into the floor. And when the Fairs were brought in, they were just emotionless. And now that she knows what was going on in that house, it all makes sense. And then...
So, bum, bum, bum. I remember that point. I was just like, okay, I need, like, what's happening? What happened in that house? Because we're getting all these little snippets. Like, we know that something bad happened. We've seen people crying, all of these people have been interviewed, but we still don't really know.
Just dangling the carrot.
It is.
I want to know. Okay. So now we have I think there's other shots, but it's now another scene, and it's a voiceover of the podcast that Josie and Alix are just now recording. And Josie's telling Alix that she never told Walter about the finger incident. And Roxy didn't tell him either because she was scared of him. And Josie says she let a lot of bad things happen, which, okay, already Mandy just said Walter and Josie, like she says the parents came, and Josie's now saying that Walter didn't know about that. I'm like, yes. Okay.
So we know. I mean, we know that Josie does weird and crazy things, but then it looks back to, this was the first point in the book that really caught Josie in the middle of a lie, because it has a direct a direct response from someone outside of their family that is giving an encounter description of their interactions with the Fairs. And like you said, she said that Walter didn't know about it, but there's school administrators like, no, I remember that he was definitely there for that interaction. And so first real in-book moment. Like, we've assumed that she's been lying, but I think it was the first time it was really caught and called out directly back to back with some differing in stories or recollections of the same incident for them.
Yeah, I would agree. Now we're starting to get the same story from different people, and that continues to happen for this part of the books. So now it's a Monday, and Josie talks to Alix and the family while they're all getting ready for school, and then Josie's alone while Nathan goes to work, and Alix walks the kids to school. So she starts looking around the house, of course, and she's looking at Alix's children's artwork on the wall, and she's like, wow, these just look like normal kid drawings compared to her children's drawings, Erin and Roxy's, which were like dark and unsettling. Josie takes one of the drawings that is hanging in Alix's house, and it's a little girl with a dog. So she puts it in her pocket, and then she pokes around upstairs, and she finds a pull-out sofa bed in the study. So she's like, there is another spare room. I don't actually have to leave on Saturday. This is perfect. Say goodbye to your skin, Alix.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Gosh, yeah. Just
so now
why were they leaving her alone in the house? Still, even at this point, why were they leaving her there? I don't know.
Like,
I didn't
Josie,
get that either.
Here's your monkey backpack with the leash tail. You're walking to school with me. We're not doing this.
Yeah, but if she's still all beat up, I could understand why Alix didn't want to bring her with her. But I would be like, Nathan, you are working from home.
Yeah. I mean, we know that she's been stealing stuff and that she's crazy. Yeah. But Alix doesn't know that. So
yeah. They caught her stealing their magazine out of the trash can, though.
I know.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's just one thing.
I know.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so cut to another Netflix documentary. Now we're interviewing 3 younger people. They were all followers of Erin on her gamer channel, so which she would live stream. So they were watching one night and heard a bunch of noise, then saw Erin getting out of her chair. Okay, so I guess she really did get up. And then they heard more screaming, shouting, banging, and then it went quiet, and Erin never came back to sit back down. They were all really concerned, but none of her followers knew her real name or where she lived, and they called the police, but there wasn't much else that could happen without more information. And so they did continue to look. The search went viral, and right when they were getting close to finding her, the story broke. So now we're back in the present. Josie's all dressed and ready when Alix gets back from taking the kids to school, and she's wearing makeup that she stole out of Alix's room, but she claims it was in the medicine cabinet in the guest room. And Alix is like, okay, whatever you say. And Alix is also just feeling thrown off having Josie in her house. She's unsettled. Oh, she's also unsettled. Josie seems like fine and happy. She's kind of chipper. And Alix is like, this is
What
weird.
a weird reaction to being just beaten up by your husband, and you're
and,
staying
like,
in some
displaced.
stranger's house, and yeah, I'm happy. I'm great.
Yeah.
Everything's wonderful. Yeah.
So they go to record some more episodes. And now we cut to another Netflix documentary. And it's the episode, voiceover. So Josie starts telling Alix about a girl named Brooke, Roxy's friend from school. Brooke and Roxy met in year 10 and were inseparable pretty much right away. She says Brooke was badly behaved like Roxy, but she was still a good influence. She was getting Roxy to study and kind of just became part of the family. And they had an abrupt end to their friendship at the end of year 11 after having a fight at school. And then Roxy disappeared for 3 days and showed back up. She was kind of shell-shocked. It's implied she was like living on the street for 3 days. Or I stayed in the hostel or something. And then Roxy told Josie that Walter had been grooming Brooke, bought her a necklace, took Brooke to a pub and put a shot of vodka in her lemonade, and then slept with Brooke on her 16th birthday in Josie's bed.
Which is exactly how Josie described her 16th birthday with Walter. So you were like, oh my gosh, such a creep. Walter is such a creep. Like, ugh, yuck.
Yeah, it's sickening.
Mm-hmm.
Erin,
the one thing that I do want to
find out.
Well, the one thing I want to think about with this too is Walter was 42 when Josie was 15. Is that what we figured out? He's like 27, 28 years older than Josie. So if this happened when it would have been 3 years ago at this time frame?
Yeah.
4 years ago? Because Erin is 22,
I think he's
23?
Currently 72.
So he would have been in his late 60s, and he bagged another hot young teenager. What?
Yeah,
it's not adding up for me.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that either.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's much older now. At least when he was 40 or whatever, he was objectively hot.
Yes.
Even though
Alix
he was
admits
a huge
it.
creep.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So Alix is like, how do you know this? And apparently Erin told Roxy because she was home and no one thought Erin ever paid attention to anything, but she heard Walter and Brooke and saw them through a crack in her bedroom door. And then shortly after this, Roxy ran away for good. So now we're back in the present. Alix is reeling, and she asked Josie if she ever confronted Walter, and Josie says no. She pretended that she didn't know. What?
Why?
And then she tells Alix that on Friday after their dinner, that was the first time she ever confronted Walter about what happened with Brooke, and that's why he attacked her. And
so first it was Nathan's fault for not showing up to dinner, but now it was the confrontation with him because she finally said something to him about Brooke. Which one is it, Josie? That's what I want to know.
Right.
What is it, Josie?
A tangled web you weave. So Josie still has not tried to contact Walter at all, and she tells Alix he started being physical with her around the same time he started being physical with the girls. Josie asks Alix if Nathan has ever hurt her or the kids, and when Alix says no, Josie's like, well, you have other problems. And Alix gets the feeling that Josie wants Nathan to keep messing up and to be as bad as Walter. So now it's the next day. We're at Tuesday, and Nathan is like, get this bitch out of my house, which is extremely valid. And he also does not remember that Alex's sisters are coming over Saturday. So he's like, "Ooh, girls' night. I'll go out." So he plans to go out, but Alix is like begging him to come home that night. He promises he will. She's also like, there's an added layer of her sisters judging him. So she extra wants him to come home because they're going to be there. And on her way home from dropping off the kids, Alix runs into her neighbor's son again, the kid that had locked himself out and had come over. And she asks him if he remembers Brooke, Roxy's friend. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, she was a slut. And she went missing, right?" And it's like, maybe ran away? Can't remember. And he remembers that she and Roxy had this big fight at school. And he tells Alix her last name, Brooke Ripley. So we didn't know her last name before. Josie isn't home when Alix gets back. So she Googles Brooke Ripley. And after some sleuthing, she finds a post by Brooke's aunt asking for help finding Brooke. And then jump scare, Josie's standing right in front of her. Like, oh my God. So she's like, "Fred had an accident in the house and I cleaned it up, but I need new bedding for the guest room." And so Alix remakes the bed for her and finds the key that Josie hid. And the fob is stained with blood. So Alix is kind of like, drop. She's like, oh my God. She hides it back under the mattress and then goes downstairs to record with Josie. Like,
because after finding a bloody
red
key,
flag.
Let's just go keep recording with this person after I just found.
I guess it
key.
could. Right. Josie showed up bloody, so maybe it was, from Josie when she showed up. I don't know.
Alix is making any excuse she can to validate wanting to continue this project. She's grasping at straws.
Do it for the pod. Do it for the pod. We cut to another Netflix documentary. Now we're interviewing Brooke Ripley's aunt. She reads the Facebook post that Alix had found online, and it describes that Brooke went missing after her school prom. She'd gone to meet a friend, and they have CCTV footage of Brooke getting off the bus near the top of Maida Vale, and now she's no longer answering her phone. And then now it's Wednesday. We're getting closer to Saturday. We just want it to be Saturday so Alix can keep all of her skin. And
get Josie's
like, oh my God. Josie's still wearing the clothes that Alix lent her, even though Josie's clothes are clean. She's been wearing the same clothes for like 3 days. Alix asks Josie if she wants her to go get more clothes for her. And Josie's like, nope, don't need them. There's a heat wave coming through, and Alix asks Josie what her plan is for Saturday. I think that's also part of it. She's like, do you want different clothes? It's really hot outside. And Josie tries to get Alix to let her stay and mentions the pull-out couch. And it's just it's really tense moment.
It's so awkward because Josie is she's so manipulative in the way that she asks things that I think Alix just automatically, she feels bad telling her no. That's not the way it's going to be. You need to go home. Josie really plays the guilt trip and manipulates her. And this is just like the 10th thing that she's done in the last 3 days that she's been there. She's making Alix do everything for her.
Not to mention how programmed women are in general to placate and not rock the boat
or to be a good host,
not make somebody mad.
Yeah.
So, and Alix is definitely tiptoeing a little bit because she wants Josie out, but she also doesn't want her to freak and not let Alix finish the podcast because she thinks this is a good podcast.
Yeah, and maybe even
story.
even subconsciously, she's a little bit afraid of what Josie would maybe do. I think
I would be.
Yes, I think there's a little bit of this, even she's feeling like she needs to protect herself and her family and just kind of be like, okay, I'm going to just placate you until I can get you out because I'm a little concerned about what you're going to do kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. So Alix kind of waffles and she's like, oh, I'll talk to Nathan about it and see, he might be using, the couch. So Alix knows at this point she needs to get this podcast done as fast as possible and get Josie out of her life. So Alix goes out to lunch, leaves Josie home alone, whatever. And so Josie continues to snoop and collects another souvenir, a bread tie that she finds on the floor. She thinks about all of her other trophies and trinkets in her underwear drawer. She says, not just Alix's, the others too.
I know. So then it's like, wait, time out. We know that she's been stealing stuff from Alix, but whose other trinkets does she have?
Right. So creepy. And Josie really wants to go home and put the drawing and the bread tie into the drawer. And she's like, okay, I'll go tomorrow, which is classic Josie too. It's like how she was always with Aaron's room. She's like, I'll go tomorrow. I'll sneak in and out before anyone can see her. And she's also taken a business card of Nathan's that has his cell phone number on it. So that's another thing that she has. Cut to the Netflix documentary. Again, it's interviewing Caitlin Rand now, and she knew Josie when they were young children. She bumped into Josie at her work, and Caitlin told Josie she was a struggling actress. Josie got her number because Josie told Caitlin she might have a gig for Caitlin. And then Josie called Caitlin a few days later.
I, for the life of me, could not figure out what this interaction was going to lead to. I was like, this feels so unbelievably random. And then I was like, why would she need an actor to hide bodies? Because that was my initial thought, that she was going to be hiring someone to like help her like bury Alix at some point. Or like my brain could not make a leap to what she was hiring an actress for.
Caitlin's also described, as really pretty and bubbly and, maybe not the smartest.
Yes. Yeah.
All things considered. Okay. Anyway, okay, you'll find out.
Yeah.
So Alix, now we're in the present. Oh, Alix goes to Josie's street and looks in all the windows of her apartment. No one's there. And as she's leaving, she realizes she's near Maida Vale, which is where Brooke Ripley was last seen getting off the bus. And at this point, I was like, oh, it was Josie.
So Brooke and Roxy were really good friends. And then they had a falling out, and then they both disappeared.
Yeah.
And apparently Brooke and Walter had some sort of relationship.
The only thing that was making me jump around so much too, because I was like, everyone's dead, is the fact that at the very, very beginning, like the first little blurb we get about Netflix, it's like, blah, 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 all things said, 2 people ended up dead. And I'm like, only 2 people? There's literally 15 people that I think are dead right now. So it was like I was jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so now Alix is back. Alix and Josie are recording again, and Alix asks Josie what happened to Brooke, like point blank. And Josie claims she doesn't know, and she never tried to find her. Alix keeps pressing, saying maybe Brooke knows where Roxy is, and how would Josie feel about Alix trying to find Brooke? Josie does not like this idea, and she says, this is a quote, "I'm telling you what I want to tell you, what I need to tell you." But like, what I want to tell you?
So then we're like, again, how?
And I'm like, right. You're just telling her the things that you want her to think or know. Yeah, no. So now we cut to another Netflix documentary recording from July 17th, which was the day that they're recording right now. Josie recounts how after the Brooke thing, her relationship with Walter was a game of chess. Josie was a pawn, Walter was the king, and everything in the house was done to protect him. Josie says Walter was looking at disgusting things on his computer, and she told him their sexual relationship was over and she wanted to get a dog and got Fred. She made it clear to Walter that Fred was her dog and she wanted a small dog so she could treat him like a baby because Walter had ruined her babies. And she tells Alix by this time Walter had started abusing Aaron. So it's just really, it's heavy. That's heavy information to learn.
Scary.
Alix never really deals, I think, either with knowing all of this. Like that would be a lot to know about.
It would. And I also feel that it was almost like she definitely had a lack of shock. This information is very shocking, and she would be shocked initially, but it wasn't. I think if I would have been interviewing Josie in this part, I would have been like, do you want me to stop record? Are you okay? Like there was not very much of a,
there's no aftercare.
No. Well, and there's also just
it's
like,
important.
she doesn't deal, like she doesn't seem to really, like she feels like it's all very strange and very weird and she's very freaked out by it. I would have called the police immediately at this point. Like what is stopping?
Because
like,
even if
you're trying to continue, why haven't you done something else? Because clearly it sounds like there was a lot of things going on. And I guess at that point, I would have been like, listen, Josie, it is time to call the police. Everything that you have told me, this is way beyond anything that I want to still hear your story, but we need to figure some other stuff out too right now, maybe.
Right. You can report things after the fact, right?
Yes.
And especially like Josie, if you really want your life to change and you want Walter out of your life, why don't you just tell the police that, one, he had sex with you when you were 13 or 15 or whatever, and then he was abusing your children. I guess probably because none of that would stand up, but oh God, okay. Then it gets worse. Josie then tells Alix that every night when she goes to sleep, Walter gets out of bed and goes into Aaron's room. When Josie gets up in the morning, he's sitting at the table in the living room acting like nothing happened. And when Alix asks if Josie has ever seen or heard anything, Josie replies that she puts in her earplugs and stays in her room until morning comes. And Alix is like, what the fuck, Josie? And then Josie immediately switches like a victim mode.
Well, how can you not want to protect your own child at any point? That is the most bizarre reaction to that And I mean,
Yeah.
there's trauma response to stuff. I'm not negating that type of thing. However, how
Yeah.
do you continue with letting that happen? I don't understand that.
Right. Or be completely, I feel like she's saying this just like straight face robot. That's how I'm like imagining it. She's just like, I'm just telling you, like how I'm reading it right now. She's like, here, Alix, here's my traumatic life story. It's bizarre. And Josie's like, well, I thought Aaron would come to me and say something, but instead, Aaron just withdrew more, stopped eating, began asking for baby food. And you're like, oh.
Now, okay, so remind me though. So Josie is telling Alix in this scene that this is what caused Aaron to start wanting to eat baby food. However,
I think
we've
so, yeah.
known. So she's lying again because we've known that Aaron has been eating like pureed food her entire life. Like
Yeah.
the school, the administrators have talked about it. The friends have mentioned that that's always been a thing. So Josie is lying
Right.
here
But maybe
again.
it's like actual baby food this time.
Okay, fair.
Like the jars or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Josie, oh my God, then Josie tells Alix that she hasn't seen Aaron in about a year, which also blew my mind.
Yes.
Because I was like, what? And the way she talks about, I'm going to go in tomorrow. I'm going to go in her room tomorrow. I'm going to go in next week. You assume that, I don't know. I don't even know how long I thought it was. Not a year. That's for sure.
No, maybe it'd been a couple weeks if she was holed up because this story has only taken place over a couple of weeks or like almost a month at this point, I think.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, well, maybe like when we're seeing this, like her and Aaron had, just had a falling out right before this happened, and I don't know, but yeah, the year was baffling to me. She lives in your house and you haven't seen her in a year?
And especially after knowing this, again, this was when I was like, if Aaron is such a recluse that never leaves her room or the house for the last 5 years, who did she go stay with?
Exactly.
And I think kind of Alix asked that same question, like, who did she go see? And Josie's like, I don't know, an online friend, maybe. So Alix asks if Josie's worried about Aaron. Josie says, yes, of course. And Alix asks if Josie is worried about Walter. And Josie says, no, I despise him. He's a monster and I'm glad. And then she stops herself. And I was like, you're glad he's dead?
Yeah, I was like, she can't keep anything straight at this point. It's like the lies are they're just building up and up and up, it feels like. But yeah, that was how I thought she was going to finish that sentence too. I'm glad he's dead. Glad he's dead.
She caught herself just in time. And then Josie tells Alix she hasn't talked to Aaron at all and that she won't take her calls or messages. And if anyone's going to go to the police to report Walter, it should be Aaron. I'm like, what? Like your cognitively delayed daughter? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's just so weird. Okay.
It was, or like, why not? You haven't talked to her. You haven't discussed this with her.
How could
like,
you not to check and see where she is? Or don't worry, it gets weirder. So now it's the next day. It's Thursday. Josie is still wearing Alix's clothes, which is just such a funny. And I think she's trying to get Alix to be. She's like, I can't believe she's looking at me wearing these same clothes over and over and not offering more clothes to me. And it's like, you have your own clothes, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? So Josie talks to Nathan in the backyard, and she's trying to mom and dad Alix and Nathan so she can stay in the study on Saturday night. But Nathan tells Josie that both of Alix's sisters are sleeping over now, and he'll be out with friends. And Nathan asks Josie what her plan is for Saturday. And Josie's like, in her mind, she's like, how dare you ask that? That is none of your business. I'm like, bitch, you're squatting in his house. It is 100% his business.
Yeah.
It's just like so funny. So then Josie's alone again in the house, and she sneaks into Alix and Nathan's bedroom. She snoops around, being creepy. She goes through all of Nathan's pockets until she finds what she's looking for, a tiny bag with some leftover cocaine in it. And she also finds a napkin with a phone number on it and a hotel key card. She's like, jackpot. Now she has a plan. That's what she thinks to herself.
Yeah. You wanted me to make a plan for Saturday, Nathan. I've got one. She's
like,
don't
no,
you
I
worry.
have a plan. So then Alix gets back and Josie tells her that she's going to her mom's on Saturday. And so Alix and Josie should try to get as much done with the podcast as they can. And Alix is like, oh, thank Thank God. Josie's now thinking to herself that she thought she'd have longer, that she's running out of time. And Alix is like, well, we're pretty much up to date with the podcast. Like, what else is there? And Josie says she's ready to talk about Friday night and the fight. Okay, so now, I'm excited. Now we cut to
so
the
good.
Netflix. Yeah. I know. We cut to another Netflix documentary. It's the July 18th episode, which is what they're just now recording. It's a voiceover. Josie recounts how Walter didn't want to go to dinner that night. Josie says she bought Walter new clothes. Not true. He went shopping after Josie told him to go get new clothes, but he refused to wear them. And that's not true. He wore the clothes that he bought, and he deliberately got a horrible haircut. And then his rage was building and building on the walk home. And it's like Walter never seemed upset.
No, not when he was at dinner with Alix. Like, I mean, she could tell that there was tension between him and Josie, and like they weren't in the best of moods, but he didn't ever act mad at all. And we haven't really seen him act mad. He seems very passive, actually, especially with Josie. He just is like, meh, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he's old. He's old as fuck. So he's like, what's the point? I got nothing. Okay, then Josie is like, I laid it all out and confronted Walter when they got home, calling him a pedophile, saying he groomed her, groomed Brooke, and abused Aaron. She's like, it ends tonight. She ran to Aaron's room, pushed the door open, and told her to pack a bag. She goes, I'm getting you out of here. We're leaving. I know what Dad's been doing to you, and I'm so sorry I abandoned you. And that's when Walter hit her in the back of the head. Then he continued beating her with the remote control. Walter then went to hit Aaron, and Josie shoved him in the chest, and then everything stopped. Walter walked away, and by the time Josie peeked into the living room, he was on his laptop. So Josie grabbed Aaron and Fred, and they left.
Yeah, just
there are so many things
super
to
quickly.
Say about this. But I mean, we already, oh my God, there's just so many. We already know. Aaron's friends were watching her live stream. Aaron got up because she heard loud noises. No one came to the door and said that. Also, this directly contradicts everything that Josie's already said about being like, it's not my place to say anything to Aaron. Like, she needs to come to me and tell me that this is happening and it's her. You know. So now you're saying, what? And then she also said already, too, that Walter attacked her in a different way. Like, not that they were at Aaron's door.
Yeah. It's like she's twisting the story to sound more of like a savior a little bit. Like, to just
100%.
paint herself in a totally different light. And maybe even at this point, I kind of was thinking back to everything, the way that she's described herself and her relationships with her kids before. And I was just wondering if she was like, I haven't made myself look very good as far as being a mother to my kids. Maybe I need to make myself look like I am actually like this stronger, better mom than what I've kind of portrayed myself to be up until this point. So,
yeah. Well, and she's already said, too, I'm telling you what I want to tell you. So Alix is reeling from this information, as are we. But then immediately she starts thinking this doesn't add up. Once again, like Josie's not even, I feel like she's not even trying to cover her tracks.
No.
She's just like, you know what? This is the story now. She's like, so Josie, another weird thing. Josie walked from her flat to Alix's, which takes 16 minutes. But Josie didn't show up to Alix's house until 3 a.m. Middle of the night. So she's like, what happened between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m.? Josie corrects Alix right away. She's like, the fight didn't happen right when they got home. It actually happened when Walter got out of bed, like he does every night, to go in Aaron's room. Josie felt him get up and followed him. Okay, still not adding up. I'm like, so Alix is like, so you were in your pajamas? And Josie's like, yeah, like, because they were asleep. And she's like, yes, I followed him to Aaron's door and then started screaming at him. Again, you just said something different. Literally just said something different.
Yes. You followed him to Aaron's door and then but 10 seconds ago, you opened the door to tell Aaron, let's pack your bag. Let's go. I'm getting you out of here.
Right.
I'm saving you. Yeah.
Right. And you guys had already been in an altercation, kind of, I think.
Yes. Well, she said that the argument started.
What did she say?
She said that he was irritated, that he kept drinking when they got home, and that's when they got in the fight initially, was because they got home and he kept drinking. Yeah.
Right. But then, she had just said, like, I called him a pedophile, he groomed Aaron, whatever, instant. Then she ran to his room. But, oh my God. Then Alix is like, so Okay, yeah. She was like, I followed my Arizona, started screaming at him. Then Josie says she went and changed back into her dress that she wore for dinner. She wasn't going to walk all the way in pajamas all the way to Alex's. And Alix is like, but the dress had blood on it. How did it have blood on it if you weren't wearing it during the attack? Also, during all of this, I was getting really nervous for Alix too. I was like, don't push her. Are you... Excuse me, you're alone with her in this studio. And instead of answering after this, Josie starts to accuse Alix of not believing her. And Alix is like, I just want to get this story straight, make sure there are not any plot holes for the podcast. Our listeners are really going to pick it apart and need to know everything. So the situation gets de-escalated and Alix starts to ask more questions about Aaron. And then Josie says she walked to Alix's and Aaron walked in the other direction at 3 a.m. by herself.
Yeah, just good luck. It's fine. And you haven't talked to her since then? So she walked in the opposite direction of you at 3 a.m. on a weekend night, which...
I mean, oh my God. You're just like, that's so weird. If that's true, that's so weird. And then Josie reiterates that. She's like, wherever Erin is, she's safe. And I was like, I guess being dead is safe. Yeah.
She's safer than she was in that house, apparently, right?
Yeah, I was like, and then Alix continues to push about trying to contact Erin so Josie can make sure she's safe. And Josie tells Alix, this is another one, she's like, I'm trying to tell you my story, my truth. And then she storms out in a huff. And I'm like, yeah, your truth is batshit crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was so tense, that whole scene.
It really was.
The discussion. And I was like, oh my gosh, come on, Alix, find something to bring up to, to like calm her down, because same as you, I was like, she's gonna rant like
freak.
Psycho.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like say whatever, that always in movies or books, where people are in like a really scary situation, they just keep escalating instead of de-escalating. I'm like, are you insane? Say whatever to the crazy person. Say whatever they want. Yeah,
protect
of course I'll stay here and live with you forever. Yeah.
Stop antagonizing them. Yeah.
I do love you. I love you back, crazy stalker.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Okay. Anyway, so now it's finally Saturday. Yes.
Yeah.
Josie wakes up. She's lamenting again, like how hot it is outside. She's like, fuck, this is a bummer. And Josie finally puts her own clothes back on and she just leaves Alix's house. So easy. And I'm just like, oh my God, thank God. Everyone's like, so
but I
relieved.
got nervous. It was so, yes, I was relieved that she finally left. But all I could think back was how Nathan a couple days before, what are you doing on Saturday? And then she's like, I have my plan now. Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, she's...
Yeah, it's still, yeah. So when Josie gets around the corner, she double checks she has all the money she's been collecting all week from various cash point machines like ATMs, which all the money is held together with a pink glitter hairband she stole from Alix's daughter. She had to take one more thing she couldn't resist. Meanwhile, Alix is so relieved Josie's gone. She gets the house all ready for her sister's visit, and she finds the key that Josie hid is still under the mattress. I don't know if that was an accident that Josie left it or what. Who knows? I don't think we ever know.
I kind of agree. I think it was an oversight that Josie was focused on what was to come next, and I think she forgot it there. I really do. But it seems like an odd thing to leave with, because you know where the story's going.
And an odd thing to bring. Yeah. I mean,
yes,
it's ominous. That's probably its purpose. So Alix's sisters and their kids arrive and they all have a fun time. Nathan leaves, but he promises he'll be back tonight. And Alix chooses to believe him for now. So she's hopeful. Josie follows Nathan as he walks to meet his friends. She's still around. Josie gets a table at a nearby restaurant where she can continue to watch him while he's with his friends at the pub. She texts someone telling them what Nathan's wearing and where he is. The person responds that they'll be there soon. And Josie watches as Caitlin, that girl, that struggling actress, she's a pretty young woman, arrives and integrates herself into Nathan's group. So now we know what Caitlin, or Caitlin's back, I guess, is whatever. But
or what her gig was that Josie wanted to hire her for potentially.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I guess it's like Nathan, basically, okay, Alix and Nathan have not been having sex recently. I think they're going through a little dry spell. So she's promised Nathan that if he gets back before midnight, she'll have sex with him. And so Nathan is like, he really wants to go home, but you think like, just don't fucking go out, bro.
I know.
So yeah, now since we know that too, like Caitlin being there kind of, I think gives the reader a little bit more of like You might get distracted. So the night is getting on, and Alix she keeps texting Nathan, but she never gets a response. And he said he'd be home by midnight, and it's a little bit past midnight, I think. She goes upstairs to get ready for bed and finds the cocaine baggie and the napkin with the phone number on it on the floor. And the napkin now says Daisy on it. And so Josie added that name, and Alix starts to spiral. And after midnight, she tries to call Nathan, but he doesn't answer. And now she thinks that Nathan's, has been cheating on her and stuff.
Right. Right.
She's worried
That's
about
not
that.
just the drinking. Now she doesn't think it's just the binging. It's other things too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Josie, meanwhile, is imagining Alix wondering where stupid Nathan is. She loves to call him stupid. And she's like, I wonder how she reacted to the evidence that I planted. And then Caitlin texts Josie asking when Josie's coming. And Josie's like, I'm coming right now. Be there soon. So now it's Sunday. It's the next day. Alix has been up all night worrying. She's feeling jilted. She's not in a good mood. And Nathan doesn't come home. By 9 a.m., she calls Nathan's friends. She wants information. Alix is just freaking out, very anxious, worried. The day keeps going on. And she finally goes to Gio's house, which is one of Nathan's friends, and makes him tell her what happened the night before. And so Gio admits there was a girl, but Nathan's never gone off with a girl before, and he spent the night talking about Alix and how he had to get home so they can have sex. She's like, he was talking about that? and the girl told all of Nathan's friends, she's like, I'm gonna get Nathan home. And they're like, he's like, I'm sure he'll be home soon. That is such a different thing with guys and girls, though.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Dude, I remember in college. Yeah, they just don't worry about that. Girls would never let that happen. If some dude was like, I'll get her home safe, I'd be like, the fuck you are over my dead body. Literally, you will never be taking my friend away from me. In college, I was tailgating with my boyfriend. And I had a friend in town. She got super wasted and I couldn't find her. And this was before cell phones, whatever. And I was freaking out. My boyfriend was worried, or he was annoyed because she was ruining the football game for me. And I was like, girls and guys are so different. This is not okay that my friend is missing. She was just throwing up in a bathroom somewhere. But yeah, she was fine. But
still, I'm like, oh God.
Right. But I was like, yeah, I'm worried about my friend. I need to find her. So anyway, I'm just yeah, of course your stupid guy friends would be like, sure, go with that girl. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll get you home just fine. We just met her. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now it's Monday. Nathan still is not home. It's the next morning. Alix ends up talking to a hotel off Tottenham Court Road, which I just like to add that name because that's in Harry Potter. When they escape at the wedding. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So at first Alix is like, yes, Nathan's calling. I have a missed call from Nathan, but it turns out it's just the hotel is trying to get in touch with her. It's the front desk saying that Nathan never checked out. And when they went into the room, there was a lot of damage. And the staff found his business card and tried calling his work, and he hasn't gone to work today. And then Nathan's work gave the hotel Alix's number. So that's how they were able to call her. And they need someone to pay for the damage to the room. And Alix wants to know exactly what happened. And so the clerk tells her Nathan checked in quite late on Saturday night, and his companion told us she'd paid online for 2 nights. The room had been prepaid for those 2 nights. And Nathan left at some point on Sunday without checking out. No one saw him leave. There's no record of it. And so then when they went to his room Monday morning to tell him to leave, he was gone and the room was trashed. So now the card on file isn't working. And Alix asked to come see the hotel room before it's cleaned, hoping she can find a clue of where he's gone or what's happening. So she gets there. The room has been completely ransacked. Alix finds women's underwear and it smells like a woman in the room. And she also finds a smear of blood on the floor. So that's she's upset, obviously. And then she asks if she can see the CCTV footage. And so they show it to her. They watch Nathan and a pretty blonde woman enter the hotel. And then at 3 a.m., there's footage of Nathan in the lobby. So he looks at his phone and then gets into a car that Alix doesn't recognize. And she's like, it's not an Uber because Nathan would never ride in the front seat of an Uber. Who does that? It's disgusting. And then there's footage of Caitlin leaving the hotel. And she looks very put together, other than that she has a long scratch down the side of her cheek. And the hotel then tells Alix that the room was booked by Miss Erin Jade Fair. Also, I would just like to say, we now know what was happening in the prologue.
Okay, so I have to tell you.
Which, you know my feelings about prologues.
I know. So the one thing that I didn't mention this when when this first came up in the book, but when I read the prologue and it's like a woman with a little dog, it's very evident that they're bringing attention to this, and also that Nathan recognizes this woman with the little dog, because he's like, did she send you? I can't remember exactly the phrasing that he says, or, oh, it's you. Like, I think he recognized her, and
yeah. And she's like, I'm going to take you to Alix or something, or I'm going to take you to her, or
I'll take you to her. Exactly. It's something, it's very vague. There's no names associated with any of their conversations. So you don't actually know who he is, who she is in the prologue. But the second that Fred showed up when Josie's talking about her little dog, I was like, is that the little dog from
I did not put that together or even notice. I feel like prologues just like confuse me so much. You know, like when you first start reading a fantasy book or something and you're like, no one saw. I just like can't even wrap my brain around a prologue. I'll like read it multiple times and I'm just like, I can't. Like, what is happening? And you're like, pisses
or you're
me
just
off.
like, you're like, what information do I need to file for later, and what can I kind of forget about with this?
Yeah.
Because in this it was like, this is the moment.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
The turning point of the whole book.
So, yes. All right. So now we cut to Netflix documentary again. Caitlin's being interviewed. She explains that Josie hired her to catch her friend's cheating husband for £1,000. And she just needed Caitlin to get Nathan to the hotel room and Josie would handle the rest. And she's like, obviously that was a mistake. Now we're back in the present. Alix tries to get in touch with Pat, but Pat's gone on holiday and no one's seen Josie. So then Alix goes to Josie's flat and there's no sign of life there either. She does note that like the trash outside smells really bad. And I was like,
did you finally get rid of everything in Aaron's room? Is that why the trash smells bad? What happened?
Well, I have a theory for later. Okay.
Yes.
So then Alix contacts a woman named Joanna Defoe, who's the deputy commissioner of the London Metropolitan Police Force, who she interviewed on her podcast a few years earlier. And I was like, thank God. And Alix asks her to find out who the car is registered to. And then Joanna replies that the car was rented by an Aaron Jade Fair on Saturday. And so then Alix calls the police and reports that Nathan's been kidnapped. And I'm like, finally, the authorities. Usually I don't like the police, but I'm like, thank God, call somebody that can like do something. Jesus Christ.
I mean, there's so many points where I'm like, why did you wait this long? I mean, especially like as a reader, because we're getting this other side of it as well. I can understand with her kind of being like, no, it's fine. Nathan just went off on another one of his benders, or you know, he'll turn up eventually, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, and I was like, you only need to wait 24 hours to report someone missing. Like that's all that it would have taken for me. I think it's still Monday, but.
Well, yeah, because like you said, 24 hours, like if my husband didn't show up after leaving the night before for a whole day and I could not get in touch with him, that would be very concerning, especially if then I do like follow up with the people that he was with and they're like, oh yeah, well, we saw him, but no, we haven't talked to him either or anything like that. It just, it seemed like too long to wait. It was too long. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. So now we cut to the Netflix documentary again, and it's interviewing DC Sabrina Albright, who says at first they didn't take the report seriously. So she calls to say Nathan's kidnapped, and they're like, okay, lady, he's a grown man. Let's just pump the brakes. Until they got an anonymous call from a payphone reporting Aaron Fair and Walter Fair as missing. And this anonymous call came in from Bristol. This was the one. And then they put the names together. Like Aaron Fair is missing, and that was also the name on the car and on the credit card. And when they put the names together, they went to the Fair's flat where Walter is found dead and badly beaten in the bathtub, and Aaron was found tied to a wooden child's chair in a storage cupboard in the hallway. So that's that creepy chair that was in one of the Netflix like cuts earlier. Sharon was also beaten, and she's now in the hospital in a coma. And this is another thing, like Walter was found dead and badly beaten. Was he never, you know what I mean? Like she beat him up and she never said that she beat him up, right?
Right.
And, she beat up Aaron too. Like
the one thing that the only thing that she said that she did to Walter was like push him away, like when the initial altercation started. And well, at least when she's recounting it to Alix in the podcast episode, when they're talking about that evening, she says, I pushed Walter away and he turned around and walked away. I'm like, what?
Right.
That is so
And when she first
unbelievable.
got there, right, and she was like, I went to attack him and he overpowered me and attacked me first.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I just want to know what really happened. But all right, so now we have time jumped a little bit. Okay, sorry, it's Wednesday, July 24th. It doesn't really matter. But it's been 4 days since Josie kidnapped Nathan, and the investigation's now at a standstill. And then Alix finally gets called down to the police station. And she's shown all of the items that Josie stole from her over the last 2 months. There are some other things that don't belong to Alix, and the most chilling of which is a picture of Brooke Ripley with her siblings and Brooke's prom corsage.
So this is like, Brooke was there. Like, you're making all these tie-in connections. Like, how would Brooke's corsage from prom have ended up at Josie's house if she did not go there after she went to prom?
I mean, we know she got off the bus too.
Yes.
Alix then tells the police about the key with the blood on it. She's like, oh my God, I forgot about it. And then Alix asks if they found her necklace with a bumblebee pendant, and they did not find that. Now we cut to the next document again, another Netflix. It's interviewing Caitlin Rand again, who recounts her night with Nathan. She convinced his friends to leave him with her, and then she took him back to the hotel. He kept asking about Alix, and she tried to keep him in the room until Josie showed up, and that's how the room got messed up because he was trying really hard to leave. And then Josie finally showed up at 3 a.m. Caitlin finished staging the room. She left her underwear, sprayed some perfume, and then she got her money and left.
This actually kind of broke my heart a little bit. I am imagining this probably very drunk and disorderly man trying to get out of this hotel room to get back to his wife. Even if it is just for the silly thing that he got promised to have sex, it doesn't really matter. He's trying to get back to his wife and he's being prevented. And I think that it felt very heartbreaking in that moment. I'm just imagining this person trying to escape this situation.
I know. And they talk about it a lot too, that he was basically talking about Alix all night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it just seems, it's like he obviously, or it feels like he does love her and wants to be there, but he has other stuff going on that just compel him to be out and to not be able to stop drinking once he starts.
Right. And that was sad too, because then I'm imagining that side of it too. I think he's like, oh my God, she's going to be disappointed in me again. And I think that the timing of it all is what it is too. I know the hotel staff that they said they checked in very late. And so I'm sure he was kind of maybe disoriented. Why are we going to this hotel? I'm trying to get home. I'm just imagining this conversation with this Caitlin person as being very, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. Let me go. Why are you making me stay? That's just kind of, that was my imagination of what that conversation or what that hotel room experience was like for the two of them.
And then Caitlin having to constantly gaslight him, right? Being like, if you just stay here, Alex will come.
She's on her way.
That's lying. What I was. Yeah.
That was my thought too. She's probably trying to be she's on her way. She's on her way. And that's also, I think that Caitlin did tell him that Alix was coming. And that's why when he got in the car in the prologue, he says, oh, it's you.
Yeah.
And then Josie says, I'm going to take you to her. Yeah. I think that he really thought Alix was coming. Yeah. Yeah.
Who? So now it's the next day. Let's move on to the depression.
The depression.
Yeah, Roxy shows up. She's at the police station and wants to see Alix. The infamous Roxy. Roxy's told that the police are searching for Josie in relation to Walter's murder and the attempted murder of Aaron. And Roxy tells detectives that Aaron is a famous gamer online and makes money on her live streams, because they were like, how does she have money? She's like, oh my God, you guys are so old. Yes, she just plays games and they watch her and they pay her money. Roxy doesn't know where Josie is, and she tells detectives that Josie hated her, Walter, and Aaron. Roxy says Josie might go to the Lake District though. She's like, we used to go there when we were kids and she seemed to really like it there. And Roxy also says that there's no way that Walter hurt Josie after they tell her that he beat her up and all that stuff. So when detectives mention Brooke, Roxy tells them that Brooke was her girlfriend and nothing ever happened with her and Walter. And Roxy reveals that Walter was not abusing Aaron, but was gaming with her. And that's why her stream was so popular. So he would sit in there and be. Erin also, she talks really softly. It's part of her disability. And so Walter was able to bring the energy and the fun to her live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the point where I was like, God damn it, Walter.
No.
No, don't be nice at all. Like, I mean, no matter what, you're still a pedophile.
Mm-hmm. You're still
and
gross.
A predator. Right.
But maybe not
it's like,
quite as terrible of a dad as what we thought you were.
Yeah.
That was kind
abusing, like your disabled child.
I mean, where were you their whole childhood? But maybe.
Right. But now it's like maybe that is that.
Yeah.
Super true. Although, okay, now we cut to the Netflix documentary again. Alix is interviewing Roxy, and Roxy tells Alix the full story about Brooke. Brooke and Roxy were dating, but Roxy's parents didn't know they were in a relationship, and Roxy felt happy with Brooke. Josie didn't like that, and Brooke told Roxy she thought Josie hated her. So Roxy and Brooke broke up because Roxy thought that Brooke had said something mean about Erin. And Roxy was like, I just, went in guns a-blazing. I didn't really check my facts before. And so she didn't actually say anything bad about Erin. But Roxy ran away from home, and she and Brooke had made up. And she wanted Brooke to run away with her. But Brooke said she had to stay and take exams. So Roxy hoped Brooke would find her. But then Brooke disappeared. That's that story.
In this timeline, Roxy does not really reveal if she had left home after her and Brooke fought. There's not a whole lot of
there's no timeline at all. It's just vague
for their relationship when it was even.
Right. And that's another thing, Alix, hello. I would be like, and what day did you leave?
Right.
Was this before or after prom? How is that not a question you asked? And that's something that Brooke would 100% know if she left before or after. And that's never dug into. So then Alix tells Roxy about the key that Josie had left, and Roxy says her dad had a garage with an old car in it, and it's around the back of their flat. My thought was when there's garage, just a line of garages in an apartment complex. That's what I was envisioning.
I was thinking of almost a detached garage that maybe only certain units if you purchased the ground floor unit, you had a backyard access to it or something like that. That was kind of how I pictured it, just very inner city kind of setup.
Yeah. Yeah. And Roxy says you could get to the garage by walking around the building, but there's also a window in the bathroom that opened up to where the garages are. I wasn't sure if it was the bathroom window opened directly into the garage or just near it.
You could see it from the bathroom window or there. I was confused a little bit about that as well. But
that felt unclear to me. But so now more time has passed. It's July 28th. It's a Sunday. I don't know.
It's been a week.
Hard to keep track of the dates anyway. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a week.
I should have a calendar up or something. Pat contacts Alix and asks to be interviewed for the podcast after talking with Roxy. And then we cut to the Netflix documentary. It's this episode with the voiceover. Pat says that she wasn't ready to be a mom and can't even remember Josie's father's last name. That's insane to me. Pat is a piece of work,
and she's a narcissist for sure. I mean, Josie does not get really any excuses, but I definitely don't think she had an easy childhood or a good relationship. 100%. Yeah, with her mom and
she's she wanted Josie to be independent, and she's like, but Josie was so needy. I'm like, yeah, she's a child. I just can't even imagine how horrible. I
can't remember.
If your kid is crying, you don't pick her up. I bet she was just left to cry and be sad. And I just that makes me feel so upset.
This reminded me of Reese Witherspoon's character, in Four Christmases, when she's can't they, is she talking now? She's talking to her, to her, kind of sister-in-law, even though not, because her and Vince Vaughn aren't married, but she's is that baby, is she walking? Can she take care of herself now? It was that was kind of what I got this vibe from Pat. Why aren't you self-sufficient yet? What? You still need care and comfort, past the first, couple weeks of being alive. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. So, that stresses me out, too, to, think about that. And then it is revealed that Pat started dating Walter when Josie was 13. And that's why Walter was like around. I'm like, oh, that makes sense why he was at your birthday when you turned 14 then or whatever. What?
Yeah.
And she lays it out, though, like Josie stole him away from her. And Pat admits that she doesn't like Josie and she doesn't think that Walter groomed Josie.
So,
and I'm like, what?
Yikes. Yeah. Yikes.
That Josie stole him away from her. My thing is that a 15-year-old child would never, ever be able to wear me down. Like, there's not a world.
Never.
I'm even like, if you know, like the rule where you like take your age and divide it in half and then add 7. I'm like, I don't even think I could date a person that was 25 years old. I'd be like, get away from me, you child. Like, what?
No.
And I'm like, that this is just such a warped view from all these other people too, being like, yeah, Josie like really asked for it. She got Walter to like really do all. And I'm like, no, that's just not a thing.
And I think that like, there are instances where you can be like, okay, well, you had a teenage crush on like maybe an older person like in your life or something like that. But regardless of you maybe trying to, I don't know, when you're that age, you don't know what you're doing or how to flirt or do whatever. Like, you can maybe like be weird and want to hang around that person, but to say that she stole him, like fully, like, I'm sorry, it's a two-way street and he is the adult. So he
like
should
there
be the one
should
to
not
be.
be a world where that even, could have happened because, but we do know Walter is like a creep. I think that, that. So,
That's
and then I was
true
like,
no
did
matter
he start
what.
dating Pat so that he could get to Josie? And then it's like, why would you?
Yeah.
And then I was like, why would you marry someone who's going to keep aging?
Right.
You know, if you are a pedophile. And then I was like, I guess, do they do that so that you can then have children to like continue abuse or have access to them, right? You could have your biological children and then they have friends that come over. And I'm like, that just like literally makes me sick.
Disgusting.
So I'm not really sad that Walter's dead. So
yeah.
Like, I don't really have a lot of sympathy for him. Anyway, or anyone that hurts a kid. So they can all get dead. Anyway, so at this point, Alix now is like, Josie kidnapped Nathan and she's going to kill him too. So Alix gets a call from detectives and goes out to the Lake District and they have found Josie's cabin and they can tell Nathan was there, but like the cabin is empty. And then he's eventually found dead in the lake on July 29th, 2000. Alix she gets a voice message from Josie 5 minutes before she's notified of Nathan's death. And Josie is just this long rambling message. And she says she doesn't know what happened or what she was thinking. She was just trying to be helpful. She just wanted Alix to realize how much better her life was without Nathan. And she was going to return him, okay? She's not evil. And everything she told Alix was the truth. Okay, fuck you, Josie. She begs Alix to tell the world that she's not a bad person and that the real end of the story, the worst thing of all, hasn't even come out yet. What?
So now I'm like, okay, we know Walter's dead. We know that she tried to kill Aaron as well. We know that that she's kidnapped Nathan and eventually killed him. But this is not the worst. This is not the worst thing yet. We're not there. What? Yeah. Pins and needles. Pins and needles. Okay.
Right. So the same day that Nathan is found, Erin finally wakes up from her coma. And Roxy and Pat are there, and Roxy fills Erin in on what's going on, you know, like mom killed dad, blah, blah, blah. And Roxy ends this with saying, it's like the end of the scene, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, okay? I'm going to tell you word for word, which the first time I read that didn't really like think anything, you know, right? It's just like, Roxy's like, I'm going to tell you everything. Like, I'm going to, you know.
We're going to go through this together.
I'm going to fill you in.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, she's like feeding her the story, like 1000%.
And then this part I thought about as well with Erin's disability. Is this part of her being easily, like, do you know what I mean? Like, is Roxy going to
100%.
just manipulate?
That's what
I don't know what the word I want to use necessarily, but like, is Roxy going to be like, this is the story? And Erin, regardless of maybe moral values or whatever, just going to say, oh, okay, yeah. Like, you know, like, is her sister like the only one left that she even trusts really? Because she doesn't have.
Right. And we don't ever, I don't know if we ever like truly understand the extent of Erin's like diagnosis, but
But maybe she could be easily influenced to.
Right. And I would assume, like, I only have my sister left, even if she easily swayed or whatever, but. So now we cut to the Netflix documentary. Again, it's July 30th, which I think is the next day. And it's police audio of them breaking into the fair's garage where they find Brooke's decomposing body in the trunk of Walter's car. And then we cut to Brooke's mother, who's being interviewed, and she reflects on Brooke going to the prom and how like beautiful she was and then disappearing. And Brooke's mom thought it was about all this was like about a boy and didn't know anything about Roxy. And if she had, she may have realized or registered the bus stop where Brooke was last seen. So if nothing else, this is a PSA to like know who your children's friends are and where they live and not let them have sleepovers and stuff. Then we cut to Roxy and Aaron being interviewed. Aaron's officially been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Aaron has a really soft voice, which we kind of talked about before because of her disorder and as a coping mechanism. And she tells this whole story. And I was like, it's interesting too that, I guess Roxy says she wasn't there, but anyway, so Aaron's telling the story. She states that Josie didn't like Roxy or Aaron, and she didn't want Walter to like them. She controlled everything. Josie controlled everything and didn't want Aaron or Roxy to bring friends over or have anyone else in the house. Josie didn't let Walter have anything to do with his first family in Canada, so Walter would secretly Skype them while Josie was at work. And so now we're like, okay, is that what he was always doing on his computer?
Right.
Josie made up lies about Pat and wouldn't let the girls see her. And it got worse when Walter got a job and was only home on the weekends. So he really did like leave for his job. But Josie took Roxy out of school after she broke Aaron's arm. And Aaron's like, which was a mistake, by the way. Haha, we were just like playing. And I was like, okay. And then Josie pretended to homeschool Roxy for 2 years, but didn't actually teach her anything. And then one night when Walter couldn't sleep, he walked by Aaron's room and heard her gaming. So Walter came in to see what was going on, and Aaron's followers loved it. So he started sitting with her at night and helped set up all of her financial stuff, and they kept it a secret from Josie. They were planning to go to a convention that summer, and then Aaron was planning to move out and live in Bristol with Roxy. So at this point, too, I was like, Roxy was the one that anonymously called from Bristol and like told them that they were missing. At least that's my theory.
Yes.
And so then I was like, well,
my theory with this little section that they've been in touch with Roxy. I think
exactly. Yeah, I agree. After I heard that, I was like, wait a minute. And so, so she's going to live in Bristol with Roxy. And Aaron was home the night Brooke came over after prom. Aaron says it was just her and Josie at home. Walter was working away and Roxy was in Bristol. Aaron was gaming but heard voices and peeked out her door. Josie accused Brooke of being the reason Roxy ran away, but Brooke told Josie it was her fault. She's like, you're a crazy bitch. She ran away from you. And so Josie hit Brooke hard across the face. Yelling continued. And then Brooke turned to leave. And at this point, Aaron closed her door and was like scared. But then she heard a loud crash, and a choking noise, and then silence. And Aaron says she did not leave her room for a very long time. And she never told anyone what she heard until about a year ago. And that was when she cut herself off from Josie, claiming she was scared of her. So I guess that timeline kind of like matches if Josie hasn't been in her room since a year.
My only question with that is, why did Brooke go to their house then?
Right. Maybe she was looking for Roxy.
She could have been.
Shit.
But if Roxy's gone, or she had left, it depends on the timing of everything, because we have a very vague timeline of Roxy leaving. So if Roxy and her got in this fight very close to prom, and then Roxy disappeared, she left, like very soon after, and maybe Brooke just thought she was cut in school and wasn't there, and so she went to prom and decided. But why would she have gone to their house? Maybe they had
plans to go to prom together, and then she was like, Roxy never showed up to prom. I'm going to go see where she is. So it's either that or she went to try to like make up with Roxy, and then Roxy actually killed her. We don't know.
Yeah.
Then Aaron recounts what happened the night Walter was murdered. So says Josie and Walter got home and she heard loud shouting, then a bang and a crash. So Aaron came out and saw Walter lying on the floor looking like he's having a heart attack, and he had a head wound. So this is like literally the only time we've heard that he like actually got beat up. But a head wound, is that badly beaten? I don't know.
Right.
Josie told Aaron, Aaron's like, he's dying. Call an ambulance. She's like, I already called an ambulance. And then Aaron attacked Josie with the remote control until Josie started fighting back and overpowered her. Then Aaron blacked out, and then she woke up in the cupboard tied to that creepy as fuck chair.
So I'm like, to unpack there.
It feels good to like have the information though. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, well at least there's like, we know things. But So now it's a month later. Nathan's funeral is held. It's this big, rambunctious affair. It's just how Nathan would have wanted it. And Josie still has not been found. A lot of this stuff, too, is like now it's like we're a lot more in people's head. And Alix is just going through like existential crisis. Like, was I a good wife? Am I a good mother? Like, who am I as a person?
And maybe like looking back and feeling like she was too hard on Nathan or should have had a different approach to his binge drinking. And because there's some discussion at his funeral about how he lost either just his dad or both of his parents when he was young.
Yeah.
And she's just like, he had trauma from earlier in his life, and maybe that is what resulted in his binge drinking now. And I should have recognized some of these things or tried to help him or done something different. Basically, she's feeling very guilty also that she brought Josie into their life. So she's just wishing that she would have done a lot of things differently at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. So then we get an Alix voiceover. It's January 2022. So it's been a couple of years. And Alix recounts how she started to pull herself back together after Nathan's funeral. She couldn't go into her studio for a long time because it reminded her of Josie. But then she started pulling all the episodes together and realizing what was there. And after the first episode aired, it went viral and other people started reaching out to be interviewed in relation to Josie. And so that's like how this whole thing started to grow. Then we cut back in time to Wednesday, July 15th, 2020. So it's almost a year, after Nathan's death. Yeah. And Alix and Caitlin meet up, and Caitlin explains what happened with Josie and Nathan and reassures Alix that Nathan really loved her. Yeah. And then we cut to the Netflix documentary again. Do you have anything to say about their interaction?
Oh, I was just going to say that it's just that since that was Alix's first time meeting Caitlin, she had seen her on CCTV footage. But like Alix, she mentions that she kind of immediately liked Caitlin. It was very weird for her. She was actually really nice. And this interaction also, Caitlin she reassures Alix that he just talked about. He kind of said the same things that his friends had said, which I don't know if that actually hurt Alix more than anything because he really was trying to leave and get back home to her. She's kind of reiterating some of the same things. And I think that was maybe cathartic for her, but it could have hurt almost just as much to find out that maybe his friend, because I think that she could have definitely not believed his friends and thought, oh, well, and maybe he did cheat on her. We don't really know for sure, but at least in that one very specific instance, he was very adamant to like go home. So yeah. That scene made me feel very much like Nathan sucked still, but he didn't deserve to die was really
100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Walter.
So now we cut to, no, he deserved it. But cut to the Netflix documentary again, shows Alix's last episode of the pod was released in August 2020 on the 1-year anniversary of Nathan's death. And then now we're back in like 2019. So I think it's Wednesday, October 28th. So it's been a few months, and Alix gets her belongings back that Josie stole, and she like inserts them back into her house where they belong. And there are still items that Josie had in her underwear drawer that are unclaimed. So there's still a couple things. Like I think it's like a phone case and like something else that we don't know who those things belong to, which is scary.
Very scary. Yeah. She has another victim of some sorts out there. What that is, we don't know. But she was definitely like serial killer vibes, just collecting things from people. Very scary. Yeah.
Yeah. So then 2 months after the last episode aired, Alix got a letter from Josie, who is mainly upset that Alix called her a basic bitch in her podcast. Josie gave Alix her truth, in quotes, and she thinks it was bastardized and turned into a cheap true crime podcast. She's disappointed in Alix for believing Roxy and Aaron. She reiterates that she didn't take Nathan from Alix on purpose. It was an accident. God, she's so dramatic. And she was just trying to keep him under control. How was she supposed to know giving him more barbiturates would kill him? She's not a doctor, you know?
Yeah. Who would think taking too many pills would just, kill somebody?
I was assuming it was like an injection too.
Yeah.
Like for show. She was like shooting him up.
Yeah.
Josie is like, fate brought us together the day they were born and again on their 45th birthday. Maybe fate will bring them again. Then she tells Alix to take care of her little boy and to keep him safe. I was like, that is so threatening. Like, I'd be like, so we're creepy. Moving. We're out of here. And we're going to America or somewhere. We're not staying here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So scary. And then now we cut to March 2022. It's like, I don't know what, like 16, 18 months later or something.
Yeah.
Josie's riding the bus and overhears two women talking about the birthday twin Netflix documentary. There's also Josie's wearing a mask, which, COVID times. And it's like, it's getting like a lot past that too. I'm like, I wonder how much longer, because I don't see anybody wearing masks anymore. And it's like, how much longer can you hide behind COVID mask? That was like good timing for Josie. And so the girls are talking about the documentary. Typical conversation ensues about how crazy Josie was, can't believe what she did to her children, etc. And then one of them asks her friends if she thought Aaron and Roxy were telling the truth. And she's like, they seemed a bit shady. And she's like, and then that letter from Josie at the end to Alix, maybe they were in on it. And they both agree that maybe everyone was lying a little bit. And let's just pause right here because until those bitches were talking on the fucking bus, I did not think that. They put that thought in my head, and then when I was like looking through stuff, I was like, maybe Aaron and Roxy were lying. Oh my God.
It reignites this like weird sympathy. It did for me, like sympathy for Josie, which why at this point, like, but it was kind of like, oh, did your own children turn on you? Like,
seed of doubt. And I was like, no, I learned my lesson. Okay. Yes. Like the title is None of This Is True. And I'm taking that to heart. Like, I'm not going to be fooled again. Okay. I don't believe anybody. So then Josie fingers the golden bumblebee she stole from Alix. So she did take it. And Josie's like ruminating on her life and stuff. She thinks of the things she did not tell Alix. And she thinks of the things she said she had done, although she didn't. And then you're just like, like, what? I just want to know the truth. No. She and Josie's like, she doesn't even know if she can unravel all the truths and untruths. She's like, but this one thing feels like the truth, and she hopes it is. She came home, found Roxy kneeling over a bloody brook, tears streaming down her cheeks, saying she didn't mean to do it. Aaron was standing in the doorway, and Roxy asking what they're going to do. So Josie called Walter in Newcastle, and he walked her through getting a plastic sheet in the storage cupboard, using the window in the bedroom to get into the garage where the key was, etc. Roxy disappearing, and when she left, she told Josie, if you tell anyone, I'll just say it was you. And then Josie remembers the fight with Walter and how she pulled the key out of the drawer and told Walter she was going to tell Alix everything, and that caused him to have a heart attack. And then things kind of get fuzzy, but Aaron was there hitting her over and over, and then there's a second where Josie is sure that's the truth, and maybe if she hasn't been a good mother, on paper, she's been a true mother, protecting her children, and she's done nothing wrong. Not really, not ever. The end.
Oh my gosh.
My only thing, I guess, just in this is like, this caused Walter to have a heart attack. It makes it seem, again, there was no attacking. There was no whatever. That still doesn't, Walter was beaten. Like, there's still that element to it. So.
Right. Oh my gosh.
But I really liked this book.
I really did too. It really gripped me. I think this was one of and I feel like this is true with a lot in this genre, but the unreliable narrator is really intriguing and interesting. And like you said, you're like, okay, the title of this book is None of This Is True. So let's just remember, or just keep that in the back of your mind. Like, you needed to keep that in the back of your mind while you were reading the entire book. None of this is true. So
seriously, not a word.
Yeah. And I do like at the end of this where Josie, she's like, I'm trying to like unravel all my truths and untruths. And that's like, yes, all of your lies were stacking up and you could not remember what you had previously lied about anymore. Like, you really backtrack and you change your story so frequently, especially like it feels more so when she started living with Alix, and then the more true events of like the darker side of her life started to come about. Like, that part seemed to be the most untruthful. But then we also find out that like her mom was dating Walter first. And and I think it was interesting because there is one part in the book where Josie mentions that, well, if I knew that Walter was married, I would have never gone after him. And I was like, I'm sorry, he was dating your mother first?
Yeah.
And so the age, it's the age gap, but it's the marriage. He was previously married. That's what just totally turned everything off for you.
Yes.
What you you changed.
I'm glad you brought that up because I thought that too, being like, bitch, you cared he was married, but you still like, what? It was also crazy that like not even that Josie never even thought had that thought, like about like Pat is the one that told us that. There's never, because usually, I don't know, I feel like in her little warped mind, like we would get a crumb and be like, wait a minute, what?
But then I'm
everyone's
like, if
on
none
other
of
things.
this is true, is Pat lying? Is Pat trying to paint Josie in an even worse light? I don't know. I finished it and I still don't know.
Yeah. I feel like I do believe that Pat and Walter were dating. Like that makes more sense to me.
Yes. Yeah.
But anyway, like that feels, at least it's like the one thing that I'm like, that is the one thing in this book that makes sense. Two older people are dating.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But how many stars did you give this book?
So I think that I gave it like a solid 4 to 4.5. And I think that it was mostly because I think that I knocked a little bit off, only because I don't feel like Alix was doing her due diligence as a journalist, and she kind of allowed more things to happen than I think that most normal people would have. It would have felt maybe a little bit like, I understand that she's not seeing every single thing that Josie is doing, but she sees enough that I just feel like there should have been like a little bit, almost like a little bit more of a shift where Josie does more sneaky stuff behind Alix's back than she even did. I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel like Alix is she was very naive about what was kind of happening, and that was a little bit disappointing to me as her as a character, but I was very entertained by it. So like I said, probably 4 to 4.5 stars. Like, and it really hooked me. It really intrigued me. It made me think a lot. And I joked, I have a heart condition, I can't handle this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little nerve-wracking.
You need to read calming things.
Yes.
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars as well. I would go out of my way to tell people about it, and I think that you should read it. And I also think it's very rewarding on the reread too. It's one of those ones, like you pick up all these little details. So, and I would, like, most of the time I think like, oh, once I know the twist, I don't need to reread something. And then going back through this to prepare for the episode, I was like, ooh, so many little like Easter eggs I would not have ever caught if I didn't reread it.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about how Josie kisses everything that she steals, which is a very weird small detail that like I didn't pick up on until after we were kind of going back through and getting ready for this. It was a unique detail that really stuck out. Yeah.
Yes. So it was a good one. Everybody,
it was very good.
Everybody liked it. And then I would give it 0 chili peppers because there's no spice in this.
Absolutely 0. If there was negative, because if it made you want to like shrivel up a little bit.
I mean, like, some things I did enjoy, I mean, I do love seeing women in male dominated fields. So I do like that Josie's a murderer. That's fun. But
you go, girl.
Other than that, but
yeah. And it was,
I don't think I have anything.
It was, no, I mean, I feel like I really did enjoy it. It was one of those, it left you unsettled, and it left you still thinking about it for a while after.
Yeah.
And
and there were times too where I got to a certain point, I feel like in the book, where I was like, well, I'm finishing this tonight. There's no way that I'm stopping. And so that's always fun when you get to a point like that.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. I guess another thing that I caught was the bumblebee pendant that she stole in the very first chapter. Josie is thinking to herself that she wants a pendant for her necklace. And she got one, baby.
Yes. I'll be honest, I don't read a ton of thrillers, but I've joked that I am not the greatest about recognizing a plot twist, or I'm living in the moment of the book versus trying to think too far ahead. It's more of the reflection after that I kind of go through and analyze and try to remember certain details. So that aspect was really fun because I never really knew what was coming. I was like, who's dead? And I actually really enjoyed the cutback to the documentary or the podcast, like little snippets that were integrated as the story unfolds. So it was giving some future information to you like throughout the book, which I thought was a very interesting and kind of intriguing way to read it, because you were getting little snippets of what was going to come. So you're getting these little Easter eggs throughout the book in a very unique way that I had not really like read in a while. Yeah.
I also like that. And I was like, I want them to make a real documentary about this. I would watch it.
Be amazing. That would be amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, I would agree. It's been a while since I've read a thriller too. And I feel like, I don't know when this book was published, around probably the time that it came out, unless it's newer. Maybe like 2018, 2019.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like there were so many like this where it's like unreliable woman narrator. It's giving me like Girl on the Train, Gone Girl, Jillian, like all those kind of vibes. And it's like, it really is its own genre.
It is. Yes. Yes.
Like women being,
very
very
unique.
crazy,
Yeah.
and killing people. So anyway, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
If
yes.
you
would highly
listen
recommend
to this whole podcast and you haven't read it, it's still worth it. Go back
it
and
is.
read it.
Yes. Yes.
But also comment, like, and subscribe.
Yeah, that's right.
To our stuff. We're on TikTok and Instagram, and you can listen to this. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, Tammy.
We'll find out. Find it where you listen to other podcasts.
But find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, exactly. Like and subscribe.
If you ever want us to read a book, send us a message or something. We'll read it. Probably.
Yeah, we'll read it. We'll talk about it. We'll tell you how we feel about it. And for our next episode, we are going to be reviewing the book The Island by Briar Prescott.
Woohoo!
Woo! Totally different
right.
vibes than this one, let me tell you.
Very different.
Very
All
different,
right.
yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.
Bye.